8. The centralization and easier access to information on a per customer or per category basis, notes, email, fax, and other correspondence, cases, products, pricing, quotes, etc. 9. The manageability of workloads and schedules, allocation of leads to be qualified, customer service tickets, project tasks, etc. 10. A single, safer, integrated web-based system that can be outsourced, as opposed to many smaller PC applications. Some CEOs reckon that the advent of the PC shifted the complexity of computing from the mainframe to the desktop and yielded no productivity gain in their organization. The Gartner Group estimated in 2002 that the TCO of a networked PC was $13,000 per year, most of it in hidden costs, such as the cost of the time spent resolving problems or on non-job-related PC activities. CRM offers CEOs a way to lower these costs and keep employees focused. The company and its top managers are the main beneficiaries, yet employees are asked to do the work. The above are essentially general management benefits since they serve the company as a whole and managers in particular. They make the organization more efficient and more customer-centric. They are not per se benefits for the employees. The CRM requires that they work differently, but it does not bring much efficiency and reliability to the way they work already. Nonetheless, employees are the ones who must work with the system and load it with data. In doing so, they make themselves more accountable and they lose both valuable time and freedom. In comparison, and from their perspective, it seems that all that managers have to do to benefit from the system is to read the reports that it generates. Left unchanged, roles and processes are at odds with the new technology. The sales or general managers who initiate front office software projects rarely realize that they are the ones who benefit the most from the new technology. They seldom foresee that what the technology enables is new processes, and that employees will not adjust to the new system if those processes go against current practices and job descriptions. Overlooking this, sales and general managers do not adjust their company's processes to their new system and objectives, underestimating the importance of the task, how alien the software is to employees, and that their own methods must change. They do not formalize the new processes into written procedures and revise job descriptions. Goals are not defined. Fairness, effectiveness, and costs are not verified. Change is not introduced. Employees are not properly trained, and rewarding schemes are not adjusted. What it takes to succeed is a leader-driven and heartfelt revolution. Integrating the activity of sales, marketing, customer service, and support personnel together and with the rest of the organization at all levels and in all company locations is truly a revolution. Like any revolution, it can only work if new and higher values are embraced by the people whose lives must change to make the new order possible. For this to happen, a prerequisite is that leaders espouse these values, propagate them, and set rules that protect law-abiding employees against those who act against the common good. Note that we are talking about values here, not about vision. Many believe that vision suffices to energize a project and bring it to completion. We do not. Here is an example. 2 sales managers from the same organization, each located in a different country, sell products to 2 different factories owned by the same multinational corporation. On a late Friday afternoon, one of the sales managers receives a quote request from the factory located in his territory. He immediately replies with a quote and receives an enormous order. On Monday, the president learns about the sale and praises the successful sales manager before his staff. This all seems very normal, yet the company just lost $1 million. The successful sales manager, whose aggressive style the president likes, did not bother to check the company's CRM to see where the sale was coming from. And why should he? He reports directly to the president, and the president does not care about the CRM system. The CEO does not have a sales background, and does not want to be encumbered with details. If the sales manager had been scrupulous, he would have learned from the system that the product that he just sold had been designed in by the manager of the other country. He would have known that months of work and tens of thousands of dollars had been spent on that sale, and that the price originally quoted for the product was twice as much as what the customer finally paid, a price commensurate with the costs involved. The customer, a multinational company with a centralized purchasing database, was simply shopping around. The company sales director later figured this out, but he has no authority over the territory managers, who historically report to the president. He also knows that his boss, the president, uses this situation to keep him and the territory managers in check. He knows that this is the culture of the company, and he does not like some of the constraints imposed on him by the CRM system, so he does not say anything. The territory manager, who lost the sale and has become unpopular because of his lack of results, understands the situation and starts looking for another job. If new processes had been formalized, signed off, and universally accepted, this example would demonstrate how dangerous an employee who shows brilliant results but defies company standards or procedures can be, and much more so that an employee who bends the rules but is not successful. But this is not the case here. The technology that would prevent the company from bidding against itself exists, but no process is in place to enforce this. In this example, everybody conforms to the company's standards, which are implicitly enforced by the president of the company himself. But the CEO cannot do this work. The sales or general manager who initiate the front office project should ideally redefine processes and formalize them in writing, but he cannot. He cannot because he is generally unaware of the crucial importance of his role and authority in the matter, because he does not know precisely what the system can do, and because it would take too much of his time to delve into it. Sometimes he also lacks the knowledge of the unspoken dynamic that exists between departments and individuals and which can make or break the implementation. So what can he do? What happens next? All the CEO can do is delegate and be prudent. Well, the role of a good manager is to delegate, so he hands over the task of making things work to a trustworthy subordinate. In face of uncertainty, his duty is to be prudent, so he starts on a small scale, usually with one department, generally with sales. He may suspect that the new system could overlap and conflict with existing tools, but he does not know precisely how, so this also is delegated. Let's see how this works out. This cannot work. A revolution cannot be delegated to a lieutenant. When the task of making CRM work is delegated to one or several executives or department managers, success is unlikely to materialize. Like his boss, the executive in charge usually lacks the software expertise and a sufficient understanding of what his colleagues do, and how, and why they do it. He also lacks the time that would be required to handle the task. Unlike his boss, he lacks the authority and the stake in the game to succeed. He soon realizes that the goals of integration fostered by the new system can only be achieved if they are enabled at the human level first, something that he cannot do. He perceives that the procedures that he could write might upset people, could be foiled by influential employees, and would not be enforceable. He worries that he could fail and disappoint his boss despite his best efforts and loyalty. So he does the best he can. He redistributes parts, or all of the task of making things work and writing procedures to users who know the system better, and to managers who have the authority to alter their own department's processes. After all, this is also the best way to ensure that they get on board. At best, this results in a patchwork of processes and a few documents that more or less reproduce the way things worked before the system was installed. In general, this results in frustration for the people who were put in charge, finger-pointing among managers, and puzzlement among regular employees. For lack of a proper policy, procedure, and instruction framework, the system is underused, and its use becomes in part optional. The implementation stalls, and everybody is puzzled and disappointed. What is disappointing for the parties involved is that most of them would have welcomed the new technology if it had been accompanied by ad hoc enabling processes and cultural adjustments. Once introduced to the system, employees can easily envision how better results could be achieved by their organization with a bit of automation and integration among users, departments, office locations, and hierarchy levels. Good employees do care about their company. There would have been something in it for everybody. 1. Salespeople can see how the system could help them easily and rapidly access the customer information that their colleagues produce or collect in customer service, tech support, and other back-office departments. Forewarned is forearmed when you are called or will call a customer. It is always good to know all that there is to know about the relationship that exists between your customer and your company. If accessing this information is too complicated or time-consuming, people cannot afford to use it. 2. Sales managers look forward to being able to better track the whereabouts, opportunities, and performance of their salespeople better than they could with paper and spreadsheets. 3. Managers realize that the system could allow them to better allocate tasks to optimize throughput, work quality, speed, and cost. Sales managers see how customer service agents could be used to identify new customer needs and to qualify sales leads. Likewise, customer service agents can see that with the limited sales roles, they might be entitled to commissions or finder fees in return. Quotes could be written directly by salespeople instead of being written by a dedicated employee using a standalone application. Customers could access information and log requests directly into the system via a web portal, etc. 4. Sales employees from Territory A perceive that commissions could now be split when their labor leads to sales in Territory B. This would entice them to visit customers that they would otherwise ignore, because there is nothing in it for them, and because there is only so much they can do in a day. 5. Some tech support employees realize that, with the appropriate tool, their intimate knowledge of the needs of their customers could translate into new business, and into more respect for their role. They could generate leads. 6. Marketing employees appreciate the fact that the system could provide them with metrics that they could use to better identify trends, and to better adjust pricings and products to the market. 7. They realize that they could easily use the accurate contact information maintained by their colleagues for their newsletters, events, surveys, and other campaigns, and thus would not need to maintain parallel lists by themselves. 8. Accountants perceive that they could now rein in the salespeople who take too many liberties with price lists. 9. They also envision that they could extract forecasts from the system to build their budgets. 10. Salespeople understand that the system may allow them to better track invoicing and the commissions owed to them by accountants. 11. And then, of course, there are the numerous tedious tasks that were performed manually and could now be automated. The list could go on. Employees and their supervisors can see how our top management benefits would be spelled out into efficiencies at their level. Some hope that the system will compel decision-makers to solve issues that they had raised to no avail in the past. So why doesn't it work? Why can't those in charge make it